Hello, hello, ladies. Welcome to today's conversation on building solid foundations for business growth. So excited for this panel. We're halfway through the summit. Can you believe it? I can't believe this week is running so quickly. And I'm just so excited because I have already seen some of the transformations. We've been having amazing shifts from mindset to business to aha moments. We just talked about, today we talked with Elena on high ticket sales. We had some huge mind shifts. We talked in the previous session about publishing your book. And today we're really taking it back to foundations. Foundation is the key to your business, and there are so many building blocks to building sustainable businesses and having those solid foundations for growth. So I'm very excited to have a panelist here to discuss this topic. I won't be leading this conversation today. I have wonderful helpers as always. I have Elena Dacus on the decks. Hi Elena, good to see you as a co-host today.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. Yes. What a great day. What a great day today. I mean, every day it's just been amazing. So yeah, I'm excited for today.
Oh my goodness, Elena, your talk today has just blown the roof off. So if you haven't watched Elena's talk, you're going to go back because she has shifted some mindset blocks on sales. And we have another co-host, Claudia, who just came off a plane and she is soldiering through. How are you, Claudia?
I had the toothpicks keeping my eyes open just before. I'm still on Peruvian time, but I'm here now, so I'm gonna be fully present, and then I'm gonna go and lie horizontal.
Well, if you need a lay down halfway through, we're here to lift you up and support you. We're going to have our other panelists joining us throughout. If you're joining us right now as an audience, please let us know in the chat, introduce yourself, let our ladies know where you are, where in the world you are. You don't know who you could connect with. And we talked about the power of your introduction. So use the power of the introduction in the chat to make some new connections. This is going to be powerful. Also, big warm welcome to our panelists. And we have Regina. Hi, Regina. Good to see you. We have Nadine joining us today. We have Alexandra, who again delivered a wonderful session today. If you haven't caught it, you got to go and check it out. We've got Jessica. Hi, Jessica. Good to see you. Carolina, where in the world you are? Are you still in Argentina? Amazing. We got Monica. She's in Amsterdam, all around the world. Beautiful, shining, smiling faces. So this is your turn to introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know where in the world you are. Let's kick this off. I'm putting myself on mute. I'm handing over to you ladies to host this panel, to Elena and Claudia.
Yeah, no, wonderful. And I think we have a real different background and experiences around the room, and what we think we should start is really think about, and really would love to share your perspectives. What do you think makes a business successful? What is required for them? How do you see that? And anything that you believe is really a requirement as a foundation to have a successful business at last. So I guess as we always go, and also anyone who is in the chat, attendees, if you have a business question, actually you want us something to address, drop it in the chat, let us know. So we're also always going to be referring to that and speaking to you. And please raise your hand and let us know that you want to speak. And perhaps we'll just to kick off the conversation. Oh, here we go, Jessica, I can see your hand up. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you.
Thank you. I didn't mean to cut you off. So if you want to cut me off and keep talking, but I just wanted to say, I think, my perspective, and obviously there's so much like business stuff to do, but I really think a lot of us are business owners, right? We are the face of our business. We're the entrepreneur. I really think a huge part of being able to run a successful business is taking care of yourself. So taking care of your physical health, mental health, emotionally, spiritually, right? So really, so I think it was like on the Monday panel, one of the ladies gave that, was talking about like you're the tree of a business, like you're a tree. And I think of us when I talk to business owners, like you're the roots of that tree. As the owner, you're the roots. right? And your business and your clients, those are like the stems and the leaves. So if you're not taking care of yourself from that ground level, it's affecting everyone like above you. It's affecting your employees, it's affecting your clients, all your services, and you're not showing up as your best self. So I really think a big part of being able to grow your business is to be able to take care of yourself, and be that, you know, involves having really clear, like clarity on what is your vision for your business, and how, like, is that really meaningful to you? Because I think a lot of us are like, oh, I'm going to start this business and it's going to be fine and I won't have a boss. And then they're like in it and they're like, well, I don't even enjoy this. I don't love it. So I think taking care of yourself is huge. And knowing what it is you would really love, knowing what that vision is, and being really crystal clear on that. And then, you know, like that was said today, having that revenue goal, like being really like knowing exactly what you want. So there's a path to create it, right? We don't just wake up one day and decide, well, I'm going to fly from here to somewhere and I don't know where I'm going. So how am I going to get right? Like we need that clear path of what it is. And obviously we'll go off track a little, but just kind of knowing what you would love is so powerful.
No, I love that. I think it's so true. I think what you said is absolutely true. I mean, I certainly remember a point where I had COVID, my family had COVID, and you know, the business suffered. And I think this, as a founder, CEO, that your physical state, your mental well-being, how positive, how creative, and how well you feel physically in your body is going to mean so. It just means so much. Carolina.
Hello. I love what you say. It's really, really important to take care of yourself, Jessica. I really agree on that. And one of the things that I've seen between especially young people that they start their business is they are successful if there's a good leadership in the business. Like leadership is super important. How to lead your employees, how to lead your business, how to lead your projects, how to lead, you know, your clients, because if you know how to manage all that, then you're going to be successful. It's basically that idea.
I love that. That's so true. That's so true. If you don't lead your team in a powerful way, everyone's going to suffer. How wonderful. Monica, welcome.
Unmute. Yes, Carolina, that's really beautiful what you said, that if you know how to lead your team, then it's actually successful. But actually it all starts with yourself. If you know how to structure your day in business, pleasure, nurturing, we women, especially I'm sure there are some women and mothers around today watching, it's so common that we just give our power, we give our attention to others, and we give to the business, to the family, to the partner, to the society. Oh, when I have a little bit of time, maybe I'll do the, you know, I'll go and have a massage. But that for women is what actually Elena was saying the other day, that every woman who is here on the call is a businesswoman, and behind a businesswoman is a woman with a vision. And if you have a big vision, there's a long term. It's not going to happen tomorrow. And if you do not look after yourself, then how are you going to fulfill your vision?
Yeah, so powerful, so powerful, so powerful. Fulfill your vision. I love it. Nadine.
I love all this. This is great. I just wanted to say, like, being ourselves and not being afraid to be different as women in our businesses, and allow yourself to use the gifts that you've been given and utilize them to your fullest, and not be afraid of that. Because many times we have gifts or things that are different. We compare it to other women, you know, letting go of the comparison whatsoever, and then just stepping into what you know you're good at, and then bringing a team of other people of, you know, that experts that are good at the things that you're not necessarily strong at. I think that that's such a value in that, you know, knowing what you're good at, knowing what you're not good at, and the things you're not good at, bringing the people on your team to supplement and complement your business. I've seen it over and over again, both ways, right? Business is failing because they feel like they need to do everything themselves. They can do it all, you know, whereas at the end of the day, we all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses. So let's focus on the things that we do great and show up. Again, like the vision, many people mention the vision, but showing up, like just show up, you know, be be that role model in your company of how your employees or your people you're working with, your clients, your partners, we have so many distribution channels as business owners. How do you want them to show up? If you're not showing up that way yourself, how can you expect them to show up that same way as themselves? So be authentic, be real, be yourself, and don't be afraid to step into your strengths of all of who you are.
No, I love that. I love that. And it's interesting. I was just actually today, I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and he was exactly talking. We were having exactly that conversation. Actually, one of the key things is self-awareness, knowing what your strengths are. And especially when you're recruiting a team or thinking about expanding, you shouldn't really recruit people who are very much like you. And actually, what he does in his company, he runs a personality assessments. So he doesn't even look at CVs. He chooses and looks at people's personality assessments and looks for the opposite of him. And that's a really powerful way, because he knows his strength and also he knows his weaknesses, and therefore his weaknesses is what he recruits. Love it. Regina.
First of all, yes to everything every single lady said, especially the self-care and all of that stuff, extremely important. But what I also want to add from my experience is I think it's very profitable when we see a business as a separate standalone entity. Sometimes it's what do I need? And often it's what does the business need? If we can have, because a business is still a business, sometimes we have to put ourselves to the side a little bit, because the business needs, especially if you're serving a lot of people, the business needs may not line up with your needs at the moment, especially as you're growing. The business may need maybe sometimes a little bit more attention than you have the capacity for. So how do we navigate it? Do we power through and get things done? Do we plug more people in that can support us? But I think it's very important to see a business as a business. And like I said, sometimes it's your needs, sometimes it's what does the business need. I'm complete in this one.
I love it. It's so powerful. It's so powerful. That's so true. Sometimes it's your needs, sometimes it's what business needs. Absolutely. Raimonda.
To pose this question to our audience, as we're talking about building solid foundations for growth, I realize that growth means different things to different people. So I want to ask from our audience, what does growth look like to you? Is it growth in revenue? Is it growth in team? We've been talking a lot about our personal growth, right? When we grow personally, our vision, we expand. So we have this expansion of ourselves and our businesses. But what does growth for you mean? Because if we can be more specific on what growth you're looking for, then you're able to find answers of, okay, which area do I need to improve? Do I need to look at my marketing strategy? Do I need to actually look at my mindset? So in which area of your business do you want to experience growth and more, more resources, more abundance? It's so important that we get to understand you as our audience so we can also serve you in the best way possible, especially during this panel discussion.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. Some questions, let us know. We see Nicole Johnson. Thank you indeed. From Cincinnati, Ohio. How wonderful. Yes, I think it's so true. And it's interesting what you need, but also I think there's an element of intention. We had this discussion with Claudia before we started, and we were talking about someone who just scaled and grew and then recruited and actually grew out to a stage where their business has really evolved to a stage where they're now just managing people. They really moved away from someone who's entrepreneur, founder, and CEO, but now is actually operations manager because it got to the stage and they're actually hating it now. And I think that's the thing, is how do you want to define, like, what a successful business looks like to you? The beautiful thing about this, you can define it any way you want, but have been intentional about design is powerful. Love it. Regina, you had your hand up. No, I think, yeah. There we go. Monica, lovely.
Well, what successful business to me is having a time freedom. That's it. To have enough time so I can enjoy my life. because life is going really, really fast. And if I used to spend 3 hours traveling to London just to get my work to, and I missed 10 years of my life. I earn enough money, plenty of money, but I have not seen life. So now I want to see life. So
time, freedom, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of women across the world going to resonate with that message. You know, wealth without freedom isn't wealth. Regina.
You know, one of the most beautiful things I've learned about growing businesses is you get to adjust it along the way. You get to make 2-degree shifts and 2-degree adjustments. You can have, your vision is always going to evolve. Your vision is always going to evolve. And sometimes you're going to feel you haven't grown into your vision, so you adjust the business. Sometimes you're going to feel you've outgrown your vision and you adjust the business. I think the biggest freedom is in knowing that you can always pivot. You can always shift, you can always adjust. That's the freedom, that you're not chained to one process, to one system. To me, once I know that I've got the freedom to pivot my business or my clients' businesses any way that we seem necessary based on the circumstances and based on the environment, to me, that's true freedom. I'm not chained to any system, to any process, and we adjust along the ways based on the needs of the CEO, based on the needs of their clients, and based on their needs in the product and service, and the clients and the economy, whatever's going on. But once you know you're not stuck with these systems, you have the freedom to pivot any which way you want to shift. To me, that's the ultimate freedom, to be honest with you, when it comes to business.
Yeah, no, I love it. Totally agree. I think this idea of being dependent on something, it's something I always avoid. You know, the idea of independence on the economy, on anything around us, and being in complete control is a big one. Carolina, I'd love to hear from you. I see you've got a hand up.
I very much agree with Monica and Regina. These are two big topics for me. And one of the things that I like to say is I'm going to be growing and I'm going to be free whatever I work. I don't feel that I'm working. You know what I mean? So if my work doesn't feel to me as work, but passion, then I am free, because I am doing whatever I want and I am making money with it, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. I love marketing, I love online, and I love dancing. So these are my things. So when I work, I don't feel I am working. I feel that I'm really doing whatever I want. So it's not that I'm feeling that I am on vacation 100%, but almost. So yeah, this is really big to me. Yeah. And another point is, do what you love. And another point is mindset. For me is, I'm obsessed with investing in mindset and teaching others in mindset, because this is the key, right? If you are investing and nurturing yourself in mindset, then you're going to be growing in the rest areas of your life, and the money is going to come.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's such a big one. I think that's everyone who's listening, you know, especially if you're leading a business. One thing I think that will certainly, and I've seen that many through working with hundreds of businesses, the one thing that will stop progress, the one thing that will actually cause collapse of the failure is where the founder themselves become a blocker to success. I mean, it's an interesting thing that actually it's the founder themselves become a blocker to success, because they either stop growing, they stop investing in their capability, or they become, you know, the company can't outgrow the founder. So actually investment in your mindset, your capability is almost like a must if you want to get anywhere, especially if you want that freedom, you want to create that company by design. Regina, and then Monica, you next.
I'm so happy you said that the founder being the block. So my background, right, is reorganizing failing companies. Every single time, without fail, the company got into bankruptcy or pre-bankruptcy situation is because the needs of the company outgrew the knowledge of the CEO. The needs of the company, the moment the needs of your company outgrow your knowledge, so you're here and the company's needs are here, this gap becomes a negative because you can only sustain what you don't know for about 30 seconds. And then when it crashes, it really goes below what you know. And this is where people start making bad emotional decisions, hard money debt, taking on projects they shouldn't, bad employees, and it just collapses fast. So this is why mentorship is important, because you only know what you know. You cannot do more than what you know. It's human nature because we can process more than we're aware of. This is why mentorship is so powerful. The moment the needs of your business, and it doesn't matter if it's $1 billion company or a $5,000 a month business, it doesn't matter. The moment the needs of your company outgrow your knowledge, it's game over. If you don't plug it fast, it's game over. It goes down, but it goes down much faster than it's scaled up. And this is where the bad stuff happens.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Monica, I'd love to hear from you.
I apologize. I was just reading the messages. But to be honest, I do not resonate anymore with big businesses because I downscaled to just being me. So I fully appreciate the talk. But for me as entrepreneur, as a one person running the show, the power of mentorship, the power of community is crucial if this is what we are talking about. Because I remember being a lonely wolf, doing everything myself, and it felt so alone. Even though a highly educated, smart woman, I felt alone. And once you find a community or mentorship or a coach or someone you can hold hands with, and there's no jealousy, there's no comparison, there's only celebration, support, gently pushing you up, then as a woman you thrive.
That's so true. That's so true. Because the truth is, like being a CEO is a lonely business.
Yes, and women do not want to admit to themselves that then we need community, because we're a community. We were herding and collecting herbs long time ago. Together, men were hunting alone. We are gatherers. We gather together.
I love the analogy. I love the analogy. Jessica, I see I've got your hand up. I'd love to hear from you.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to go back to that mindset piece because I really think this is important. And there's what's called the results formula. So we have our thoughts. We all think thoughts, right? We're always thinking thoughts. And whatever we're thinking produce, a physiological response in our body. It creates our feelings, and whatever feelings we have, we take certain actions, or we don't take any action at all. And the action we take or don't take is going to equal our results in our life, in our business. It doesn't matter what size your business is. So if you don't like your results, we really have to go back and start to change the thoughts that we're having. So I really think in any level of business, your mindset is so powerful, and getting that coach, getting that support, doing that kind of training to expand your awareness. Because if you have this closed mindset, and if you're always thinking, this is so hard, I can't do this, I'm not educated on that. Well, of course, the results you're going to get are going to be in alignment with those thoughts. So it's so powerful to work on that mindset piece, to be able to change the thoughts, to change your thinking, to expand your awareness of what you think about so that you get new results in your life. So I just wanted to really drive home that mindset piece because I do think it's super crucial and important piece to talk about.
Yeah, no, I think that's so key. That's so key, this mindset piece. And actually, it's interesting, isn't it? One of the things that interesting, and people listening, is what you have is you don't have business growth doesn't happen like a lovely gradual line. It becomes a shift, right? What has happened? People maybe make no money, then they move into the 6 figures, and then it becomes a shift. But at every shift point, your mindset have to do something different. You actually have to change your identity, the way you think. You have to have different lenses. You have to play a different game at every shift that happens.
Elena, you muted yourself.
I think Alexandra had raised her hand as well.
Yeah, I've just, started talking, but I also muted myself. I thought that'd be great.
No worries. Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to go back to what Regina was saying about mentorship and how important that is. And yesterday we had a beautiful conversation. We were talking about on our panel about the feminine energy and how we as women lead, businesses and grow our businesses. And we were talking about hiring people from different generations because they grew up with different perspectives and different experiences. And I feel like as a leader and, as we grow our companies or, choose to stay small, it's also really important to realize that mentorship can go both ways. Yes, we can mentor, those, that we're helping within our company, but they can also mentor us, and we can learn from them because they have new ideas and new things. So I feel like it's just important that it can absolutely go both ways.
So true, so true. Regina, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Just one more thing I want to add to the mentorship aspect is I think there is great power, personal leadership and wisdom in raising your hand and saying, I need help. I think a lot of people feel there's maybe I should know how to do this. Who said you should know how to do everything? I mean, come on now, right? So there is really great wisdom, intelligence, power, and self-leadership in just raising your hand and say, look, I need a little bit of guidance. Some of us need more of it. And I think the money starts to kick in when we understand that we're not smart enough to know everything. That little thing will always keep us seeking more information. And I really know that just from observing people and so many years of working with so many people, that the best leaders make the most incredible students, because true leaders, true entrepreneurs, true CEOs know how to be led. They know how to ask powerful questions. They know when it's time to raise their hands. They're not here to drown. The moment they feel something, they're on thin ice versus solid foundation. They're chasing for help. They're chasing their questions to be answered. So it's actually very powerful to be able to say, hey, to walk into a room of people who are qualified and say, hey, I need help. I need guidance. I need support. And it's very profitable to ask for help because, like I said, nobody said we have to know everything. Nobody. We just have to be good at what we're good at, and everybody else can support us.
No, I love that. I love that. Being vulnerable and being knowing what's not working, and just accepting that. And actually got me thinking, I think another important thing to think about, and I always think about businesses is different parts of your business and really getting clear and honest about where you are in your business right now. What's really working, but what's not working. A good way to think about it is client attraction, lead generations. Then you will have your sales processes, your customer fulfillment and operations. And each stage you're going to have issues. You need to get honest with yourself and say, well, actually, how's my lead generation happening? Am I attracting clients? How's my sales happening? Is that working? And actually, am I fulfilling? When the clients come into the door of my business, are they having an amazing experience? And getting honest about where you are on each stage and actually, where do I need help? What am I good at? Where do I need help? Raimonda.
I just want to ask the ladies, how often do you evaluate and reevaluate your businesses? I think it's great to have the foundations. And what I have found personally is through our growth, through our development, the brand expansion, the offering expansion, I do this exercise every year, whereas in summer we take 2 or 3 months to really look at our processes, our communications, our brand, because a lot of things get out of date so quickly with technology, with our communications, with our brands. So I guess, building a foundation is fantastic, but how often do you ladies look into your processes and how you serve your audience and review your business plans or your marketing plans? Because things are happening so quickly, and even, we can't see the whole 360 degrees at all times. And personally, I've experienced that. One of my team members said to me, she joined and she said, where's your marketing plan? I'm like, well, it's been a while. Just being able to accept from my own team that, okay, there's that piece missing or this piece needs reviewing, because you get stuck in your business. You're running, spinning the wheels. Okay, when was the last time you stepped away and looked at all the moving parts and your strategy and all of those things that it's just, everything is happening so quickly. So we need to make that time. And I will encourage you, for those listening, schedule that time in your diary to review your business, review your processes, your fulfillment, all of those things. We have to stay on top of it, because as entrepreneurs, business owners, you don't want to wait for your team to say, hey, where is that? Which I experienced myself.
So true, so true. It's like working in, on your business, not in your business. And actually, maybe sometimes physically taking you away in a different environment, that you get to look at that from a different perspective. Carolina, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I agree on that. Actually, in our company, we set up like a monthly mandatory meeting with my sister, who is the owner and manager, and myself and other key leaders in the company, so we could review numbers, goals, and everything, and performance, because we saw in some people they were performing amazing and others were like literally not doing anything. So it's very, very important to review and analyze your business once in a while. And I would recommend to do it like once per month or regularly, right? Because doing regularly, then you can evaluate it better, way better. You can get numbers, and from numbers, you can get conclusions and action goals. Yeah.
So true, so true. Amazing. Regina, I see you've got the hand up.
Last time, I promise, but you hit the spot with my topic. I'm like, oh my God, my head is gonna explode. I want to tell him everything. One of the things I want to add is that whether you're thinking of starting a business, you've just started a business, or you're kind of midway, from the beginning, treat your business like a business. And especially I'm watching this with online entrepreneurs, people don't really start taking their business seriously until money starts to come in or the community grows and things like that. But if you really treat your business like a business from day one, your entire perspective of how you show up is going to be different. The way you speak to clients is going to be different. The way you respect your sales process is going to be different. The way you have boundaries in your business is going to be different. It's just going to be different. You know how they say, show up as the version of yourself you want to be? Treat your business now as you want it to be a year from now. And if you show up like that, then you really do have a real business. We often, and I see this again in the online space especially, it's like until we get a validation from the audience that it's a real business, we're kind of not sure if we should show up like a real business owner. They're not going to treat you as a business owner unless you show up as a business owner. It's not the platforms, the audience's job to say, you're doing so good. Like, I'm so glad you decided to show up like a business owner now. So if you have kids as a parent, right, we don't need validation. Like, we're showing up as a parent, like our game is on 24/7. I've got 2 kids, like this mom is on 24/7. We have rules, we have structures, like I'm on. And so the same with your business. From day one, treat it like a real business, and you will watch people respect it in return. And they're going to treat you like a real business. They're not going to negotiate you for pennies. They're not going to push your boundaries. They're not going to come at you after your working hours. If you treat yourself with respect and your business with respect, people will show up like that for you. But you got to do it for yourself first. I'm done, I promise.
I love it. Please don't be done. It's amazing. But yes, no, that's 1000% agree. 1000% agree. And I guess another thought just to end that is almost showing up now as your future self. Like, if your dreams is to build a multi-million-dollar company, well, start now acting like one. Start now thinking, well, actually, I'm a CEO of multi-million-dollar company. What does the CEO and founder of multi-million-dollar company does at 9 o'clock on Monday morning? Alexandra, you got your hand up.
Yeah, first of all, could we just like have a round of applause for Regina because that was amazing. I just like, no, I loved it. It was really great. And it's true. And it's that mindset and mentality of be, do, have. We need to be that person now. We need to, operate at those higher vibrations that we know that 6 or 7 figure, version of us is going to be operating at. Why not do that now? Why not step into her shoes now and, show up the way that we imagine her showing up, behave the way we imagine her showing up, act the way, all of that. I feel like it's just so important. I just wanted to like say again, I love it. It's great.
So this leads actually into the second question we had, which is what are the challenges when you're building the structures? So more or less everything we've said, we could reframe it. And Regina just mentioned this, the boundaries. So for a lot of you on the call, you probably have personal brands. So what are your biggest challenges, or what do you think and feel about the word failure? Is that like a dirty word for you? What does this bring up for you? So who would like to start on that? Okay, Jessica.
I love it. I love the word failure. I love failure. I think that if you're not failing, you're not growing. If you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. If you're not failing, you're not doing what you should be doing with your life or with your business. Like, we're not meant to be perfect. And, life doesn't go like this. And if it did, we would all just be bored. We're meant to fail, because when we fail, we grow, we learn new ways of thinking, of doing, of getting different results. And so people need to have that mindset shift around failure. Failure is a beautiful thing. I failed at so many things in my business, and I don't look at it as like, oh crap, like this sucks, I failed. I look at it as, oh my gosh, I got back up and I did this. And every time I got up and every time I pushed a little harder and I did something a little bit different, I learned something new. I got the results. I got the better results. And so I think when we can think, of these times where I failed in my life, and really think, well, what good did come out of that experience, right? Well, how did I show up in that failure? So really, like, failure is a powerful thing. And if you're not failing, you're not growing.
If you're not failing, you're not growing. If failure is the best way to try it a different way, to experiment. And we're meant to experiment. We're meant to be creative. Speaking of creative, Monica, you've got your hand up.
Yes, I do. So I don't really use the word failure. I can't even spell it. But what I actually implement is taking imperfect action. So being a highly perfectionist, which I didn't know, giving myself permission to take imperfect action moves the needle. I'm going to make action and it's going to be imperfect. And that is such a beautiful freedom, knowing that the action will not be perfect and you're going to have the space where it's going to be like, it's going to suck. And it's okay, but you're going to move forward. And it's like compounded interest. Every single day you move your needle a little bit further, you make a little bit of step. With all these imperfect actions, in the end, they become perfect. And one other thing I also love is like learning to fall forward. Falling forward.
Falling forward, beautiful. I love that. And actually, before the call, Elena and I, we were speaking about perfectionism and how certainty can hold us back. Like when you're an entrepreneur, when you're in business, there is no 100% certainty. So part of that experimentation, which could lead to beautiful failure or falling forward. So Carolina, and then Regina and Alexandra. And Elena's also got her hand up. So let's start with Carolina.
Yeah, I love that, Monica. I really think that embracing imperfections is very important in order to grow. Like, we don't need to be perfect, and actually we're not. We're not perfect. So learning from the failures and from experience, I really think that we learn way more from failure than from wins, because it gives you time to reflect on what could have you done a little bit better, or what you actually learned from that experience, right? So yeah, embracing imperfections, it really leads you to growth as well. Yes.
And if we think about Edison, he found out how to make the light bulb by failing hundreds of times, and that showed him how to do it. So it's the experimentation aspect that I think is really important. Let's go to Alexandra and then Regina.
Awesome. Claudia, you literally just said the quote I was going to mention, so I love it, but no, you're good. It's great. I mean, for me, failure and what you were saying, Carolina, is I've learned the absolute most from failing in my business, and holy crap, I've failed so many times and in so many different ways throughout just this, I've been in business for 3 years now. And just in that short time, I have failed a lot. And at first it was incredibly hard to get back up from it, because I did also struggle with perfectionism and thinking no, this is, got to be perfect, or that perfectionism would also stop me from moving forward, because I wouldn't put it out there, because I'd be like, it's not ready yet. It's not ready. Nope, nothing. And in a way that was, kind of a little failure, because I wasn't doing anything, and learning to go forward messy. And just like Monica was saying, just let the messy be okay. You can always fine tune things later. And I've actually realized the messy is just who I am. I thought it was messy before, but it's actually just who I am and how I do business. And all those little failures help me realize how I don't, what doesn't work for me, what I don't want to do, or what's not. What I've realized is those things that I failed at were things that I thought I needed to do. I thought that I should do this. I, was told by whoever, I've had different business coaches, which have all been amazing, or just from other people, businesses, oh, well, they did this, so I have to do it this way. I have to do this too. Those were kind of a lot of my failures, realizing I wasn't actually being in tune with what I wanted and what I needed to do. And so a lot of those led to me realizing okay, the way to this is to actually follow my intuition, which I think is one of the biggest things I learned from all of those little failures. That's it.
Thank you, Alexandra. Regina?
I feel very blessed with the fact that I never really understood the concept of failure. My mind literally doesn't process it. Like they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I think failure is the same thing, because I can see something as it just didn't work out. So what, let's move on. And maybe Alexandra, for example, will see that it failed. It's whatever meaning you give it. The moment you attach the meaning to it, that you failed or it failed, you failed. That's it. And I can look at it and say, okay, so what? So now what? What's the next step? First of all, so you give it the label of failing. Nobody else. You literally have tagged it. This is a failure. And now it's like getting out of this rabbit hole. What if you didn't give it any meaning? What if just it was one of the things you had to try to find out what the way is or isn't? What if there's no failure? But also, I want to point something out. The only reason failure, I'm going to put quotations because I don't believe, I think it's a mindset thing. The only reason we remember failure is because of how we felt in the process. I guarantee you that you only think that you failed during the things that left an emotional imprint on you. Although you fail at something doesn't work out every single day that you try to do. It can be even the tiniest things, but you don't attach any feeling and emotion to it. So it's not processed through your body. Therefore, you just discard it. We only see things as failure that we're emotionally attached to. A lot of times it's money or love or relationships, the human experiences. That's when the failure comes in. But I want to give you even something else to ponder. You have succeeded in your life much more than you failed. Every single one of us. But because failure has such a deeper, because there's the emotion of fear, and fear stays in our body longer than excitement, we hold on to it faster. But the truth is, everybody in here has succeeded much more many times than you guys have failed. It's a fact. If you were to list out every time you failed versus every time you succeeded, your wins are much bigger than your failures. So number one, it's whatever meaning you give it. Number two, you only remember it because the emotion is attached to it. And number three, you have succeeded far more than you actually think. You just remember it less because of the magnitude of the emotion that processed through you at the time. That's it.
You know, I love that. I love that. Just to add, I think actually got me thinking. I remember there was a conversation I had with one of my dear friends who is a professional golfer. And that's exactly what he told me. He told me that actually our mind doesn't remember successes. Like our mind forgets his good shots, but it remembers the really bad shots where he didn't perform. Naturally, that's what happens naturally. So one of the tricks he told me is actually he does a rehearsal, mental rehearsal of his good shots. And I thought, oh, wow, that's incredible. And I started doing the same. I started doing mental rehearsal of my successes, of things that worked well. So yeah, I just wanted to add that. And also to say, one thing I am live by is thinking that 70% is perfect. 100% perfect is failure. For someone who is a complete perfectionist, is always something to reframe. And also one of the mental tools I use is, I first need to provide a really bad draft on a project, bad draft on the first on the deal, bad draft on the business idea, something that's first bad draft first. So it kind of just releases that pressure of being good. It doesn't have to be good. And I think what Claudia, we talked about earlier before the call is this idea of certainty. I think that's another stumbling block that's exactly holding people back. They want an absolute certain answer, it's going to work. No one knows, no one can tell you that. So release the pressure. Yeah, that's me.
Any other challenges? Because we haven't really dived into the sort of what do you personally struggle with in business? Is there anything that you find holds you back from growing or from scaling, if we want to use that word? Or what do you find the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur, about running your own business? Also, the audience, if you would like to put any question, we've still got another 10 minutes or so. If you've got any questions to the panel or anything you'd like to share, then please put that in the chat and we will read it out. So Monica, you've got your hand up, and so has Jessica.
Yes, what a beautiful question. And excuse me, my brand is about authenticity. Just tell exactly how it is. So I struggled for a long time with comparing myself to others, and especially starting. Brand is me, I am my company. And even if you have a huge companies, if you started something new, you don't know, of course, we don't know how it's going to work out. We are uncertain. So we are reaching out for other people. And in the beginning, I was comparing myself to others. But as I transitioned and progressed, now I'd get inspired by others. And that shift is massive. Instead of comparing myself to others, I get inspired. And in that inspiration, I can celebrate the women and men who are achieving. So it's huge. I mean, it's very, very simply said, but it's massive. It's a huge transition when you actually can see people around you and they're succeeding and you are not yet succeeding, to really celebrate them, because you can propel yourself using quantum energy, quantum field. You can visualize yourself being on that space, and our body doesn't make any difference in terms of time. So by you celebrating your colleagues, your soulmates, your tribe, your community, you actually celebrating yourself as well.
What a wonderful example of reframing and shifting the energy and using, I mean, this word law of attraction is often simplified, but I think that really embodies that, where you're putting then your focus, you're shifting your focus. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Monica.
Talk about it later.
Did you want to add something?
Oh no, I can talk for a long time, so it's okay.
Okay, so let's go to Jessica.
Thanks. Yeah, I think for me, one of the biggest challenges has been, so I'm, started my business, I'm a coach and it's all on my own. And my husband is like his life is business. He's been running companies for years. And so for me, it was to be able to filter out a lot of the noise. So I think when someone finds out, oh, you're going on that you're starting a new business and you're doing this, you need this, 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 and this, and you need this, this, and this. Well, as a solopreneur, as a coach, my business is very different than, for example, his business, where he has like hundreds of employees, right? They're like running billion-dollar companies. And I'm here, well, I don't even know what this means. So I think it's being able to really filter out the noise and finding the proper mentors, because as soon as someone's like, oh, you need this, you need this, you need this, and it becomes overwhelming and you're like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And you want to just stop. So I think being able to really filter out that noise, really get clear on what kind of mentors can help you, support you, get a coach. I have worked with so many incredible business coaches that specialize in helping like solopreneurs grow, helping like coaching businesses grow. So be really specific about the type of people that you learn from and you get like your mentorship from, because it can be really, really hard and everyone has an opinion and everyone wants to tell you what to do. So if you're not really intentional about who you're taking your advice from and who you're hiring to coach you and mentor you, it can get really messy. And then that struggle becomes even harder. So definitely a big challenge has always been, okay, like where's my focus and who are the right people to bring into this situation?
Great one. Raimonda.
It was so funny as you asked this question, do we have any challenges? And no one was raising their hands. I was just about to unmute myself and say, audience, don't think that we don't have any challenges. Don't think that we have reached a stage where we don't have challenges. So, and I was just thinking like how many things, there's so many things that we face in our businesses, from daily challenges to more ongoing or mindsets. But you know what I want to address, when we are in business and we look around and we see other people and we think, oh, it's easy for you to say this, right? You have this, you have achieved this success. And I just want to just be real for a second and say, the more you grow, the more you put yourself out there, and the more successful your business becomes, the more challenges you're going to face. The more things that will come in the way, get in the way, things will break, there's going to be more things to deal with as you grow and scale. That's why the foundations are so important. That's why we're talking about the foundations, because if you don't have a solid ground as your business grows, everything cripples. So the foundation is so important. So as you grow, you don't face challenges, right? And then when you get to that success, or whatever the success or level of success means, and you'll, trust me, you'll never say, oh, now I'm successful. It's a continuous journey. Continues. Even when you are successful, when people think that you're successful, you within yourself think, well, I'm only just scratching the surface. But start with those foundations, grow, and never think that anybody else not facing the challenges. They're just getting used to overcoming bigger challenges as you grow, as your capacity expands to deal with more situations, more things, right? When I started the summits, I started with 3-day summits, 1-day events, or 3-hour events. Now I do 6-day events and live summits. So your capacity just expands. But if you don't start with building the solid foundations right at the beginning, as your success grows, everything will start to crumble. So rest assured, we all have challenges along the way.
I love that, Raimonda. So it's so true. And this is why I think earlier one of, was it Jessica who mentioned, or Regina, about being always sort of a step ahead, or like looking at you, the best version of you to be able to already be one step ahead, because yeah, problems are going to come and they keep coming. Elena and Carolina, who should we go to first? I don't know who put your hand up first.
Carolina, why don't you go first? And then I'll go afterwards.
Give me 1 minute because I don't know what I wanted to say.
No problem. I'll just add, yeah, I guess one thing indeed when asked for challenges is like how many fingers do we have on hands? There's certainly a few, but I think one thing that a lot of women really struggle with, and I'm certainly one of them, is this balance between family and business. I think that's an additional pressures that we have that maybe men in our position don't necessarily struggle with, because the business is exciting. There's so much going on, especially as you grow. You want to do more. You want to say yes to more things, but actually maintaining balance and making sure that the kids are happy, the family is happy, is also important. And that certainly is a challenge. And finding that balance and navigating that dance is not easy.
Absolutely. And we were talking earlier about fitting into this stereotype of what a woman should and shouldn't do, what a good wife, a good mother, all these, we are still living in a, I mean, this is why we're even having this summit to a certain degree. It's still very much the male lens that things are seen through in the business world. So we're having to redefine that for ourselves, and having that juggle of motherhood or family life or home life or partnership and expectations of what a woman should and shouldn't do are very big. So I think for me personally, that has been a huge challenge. So Carolina, do you remember what it was?
Yeah, I understand something. Sorry. Yeah, I just want to talk about the importance of the environment. This is something that I always talk about because it has affected my personal and professional growth, right? So it's very important to keep an eye, as Jessica mentioned before, and be intentional about who do you surround with. Like, you have the ability to select the environment you're in, and that affects all the parts of your life. So that's super important also at work, because that's going to influence the the energy change at work, and as a consequence, your money.
Thank you. Monica, you've got your hand up as well.
Unintentionally, but power of 5. That's exactly it. That people you surround yourself with, and the environment, because we think that we are kind of closed vessels, but we are very open. We are, I talk about energy. We are energetic beings. That skin is very, very thin, and the people we are, we think that we are unbreakable. We can go on the street and no one can damage us, but we are really very vulnerable. And all the negative talks, all the negative influences, even emotions, even ideas which people don't say, we feel it. So if you surround yourself in a non-positive environment, an environment which is crushing you down, let's not go that way, but let's say it doesn't support and encourage you, your chances of winning is tiny. You will be fighting, and of course, in the cost of your health and your sanity. So surround yourself with the most positive, successful, inspiring people you can find right now. And then as you progress, as you develop, as you go bigger and higher, your mentors will be bigger and higher, and that's how you progress. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, very important that we have a supportive environment especially at those those early stages when we're setting the foundations. I think we spoke about that earlier of not having, if too many people are telling you what to do and interrupting and projecting maybe their own fears onto you, it's very hard to know exactly which direction you're heading, and creating those foundations, healthy foundations. Regina, you have your hand up, and then I think we're going to we're already on the hour, going to slowly start wrapping it up.
Yeah, I feel like I've talked a lot today, so I'm not going to come to tomorrow's panel. I'm just kidding. You know, about what I think Monica said about having the community, the support. What I'm seeing, especially with a lot of online entrepreneurs, especially like female leaders, we are waiting to show up until things are perfect. We're waiting to show up until things are in perfect order. We're waiting to show up until we know everything, have every single step, because ultimately it has to do with self-preservation. All of it has to do with, I don't want to look foolish. I don't want to get my feelings hurt. I don't want to be rejected. So it's all self-preservation. So I love that Monica said the necessity for having a strong support, because especially in the online space, it's a machine. It's a big animal and everybody's feeding it. So if you don't have the support, it's very hard to really show up authentically as all of you, because it's scary, because we do get rejected, because people do have something to say. And every time that we talk through this with clients, it's nothing but self-preservation. It's not about not being ready. It's not about not knowing what to do. It's not about not having all of the steps. We all know what to do. It's literally, I don't want to be rejected. I'm afraid to be seen because I'm afraid to be rejected. I'm afraid to look foolish. It's all self-preservation mechanism. So if you can kind of blast into the online space, get out what you need to get out, tell people about your business, your offers, whatever it is that you do, and then have a space to come back to, so you can have this environment that nurtures you back to health. I think it's a massive necessity, especially in the online space. It's a machine, it's a beast in itself. And I think without solid emotional, mental support, especially in organic marketing, because we're not hiding behind an ad, it's you in front of people and you're just out there. It's very important to have a safe place to retreat to, nurture yourself back to health, so to speak, so you can get back out the next day. So I love that Monica said that. I think it's very important. Yeah. That's it. I'm done. I'm so sorry.
No need to say sorry. Your points are always very valid. I'm gonna hand it back to Elena or Raimonda. I just wanted to add one thing to what you said, and that's the emotional labor involved, especially in the online space. For all of us, when you have a personal brand, there's so much that goes in. So we need to, and we go back to the beginning, take care of ourselves. Very important as a foundation. Who would like to wrap it up?
Raimonda, do you want to wrap it up? Do you want to wrap up the day 3? It's just been a pleasure. I just want to say a few words. It's just been a pleasure as always. So many things, so many takeaways for me as well. The well-being, looking after ourselves. It's so true. It's a good reminder that support system, mentorship, looking after yourself is the foundation.
I think it's coming back the full circle, as we started with ourselves and coming back to ourselves, taking care, because that's the first thing, where everything comes from. All your ideas, all your visions, and putting ourselves out there. It's not easy. It's not easy. And for none of you, look, all of us in the room, no matter how much success or how much exposure we have now, that first step was not easy. That self-preservation, it wasn't easy to become a speaker, to become an entrepreneur. I'm sure most of you have experienced moments in time when you shared your vision with someone and they shut it down or didn't believe in you, right? So even just taking that first step in entrepreneurship has been an act of courage, and going against the grain, not following the status quo, not getting a job. That alone, I just want to commend you all, from the panelists to our audience, for willing to go against the grain, for willing to challenge the status quo, for willing to pursue your ideas, your visions, and realize yourself and your potential. And we talked about our potential, how much of it we have within ourselves that we don't realize, how much abundance, how much ideas, potential to do so much if you're only willing to. And life is short, right? It doesn't matter at what stage of your age you are at, life is short. What are you going to do with this time right now to make an impact, to realize your ideas, to do something that matters? And for me, I think that is the reason why I didn't go to working for anybody else. I wanted to make the most of this time. So I appreciate you all for being here. I celebrate you, and I think that's why spaces like this, events like this, where we can come together and discuss, because it's not easy. You know, people look at us as entrepreneurs, hey, you know, it's easy for you, or you have achieved so much success, it's easy for you. It has never been easy. If it was an easy thing, I would have went and got a job if I wanted it easy. How many hours many of you have poured in way and beyond how much you would pour into a 9-to-5 or a job, because you believe in your vision. You believe in it. And nobody else does, but you believe it. And sometimes it sounds like you're crazy. That's okay. That's okay. I'll take the crazy. I'll take the crazy and I'll go all in, right? Because only the crazy ones standing at the top of the mountain, only the crazy ones do the impossible, to build that vision, to make that impact, to show the world that, you know what, it was possible. When everybody else says to you, it's impossible, you can't do it, right? And I see each and every one of you, from the panelists to our audience, you can do so much more than you even imagine. So throughout this summit, I've heard amazing stories of women overcoming huge things, going through challenges, battling those fights, being held back, losing our voices, being subjected to all sorts of things. And yet, women keep on rising. We keep on rising. We keep on standing in our power. We keep on standing in our truth. We keep supporting other people, pouring into our families, our loved ones, carrying children, bearing children, bringing life, right? Taking care of our clients, of everyone. We are the life force on this planet. And we have to maintain that. We have to maintain that life. We have to encourage that life. That's why the support, the community encouragement. Ladies, I keep encouraging in the chat to engage, because even your message to say hello, that you are here, take that opportunity to speak up and say, I am here. Don't hide. Don't hide. I am here. I am here in this chat right now. I am here. I am present in this room. I am here in this life. I am here. Claim your space. Don't apologize. Don't apologize for being here, for doing the things that you're doing. Let's rise. Only by owning your space, your power, your presence, your ideas, your feminine energy, everything. Only by you claiming it. Claim it today. Just put in the comments right now, I am claiming it. You're here on purpose. You're not here by chance. Women are rising together. And what I have seen, I'm passionate. I'm passionate about it, because I see what happens when we all stepping into our power, when you have been willing to overcome all the things that you have been through. You have been willing to step into that power. That's why you're here. And let's rise together. Ladies, I celebrate you today. What an amazing day 3 of the Women Thrive Summit. It has been phenomenal. We got 3 more days to go. And ladies, for those of you in the audience, if you experience transformations, if any of the speakers have touched you deeply, I encourage you, drop them a message. Let them know you have been here. Don't hide. Put it in the chat. I am here. I see you. Alexis, Bridget, Daniela, Iman, Marinella, Rosalia, Sarita, Shakita, Tarina. You're here. Regina, you are here. Monica, you are here. Carolina, you are here. Elena, you are here. Claudia, you here. Alexandra, you are here. Jessica, you are here. Raymonda, I am here. I am here. I'm claiming my spot. I am present. I am living. I am exploring. I am claiming it. I am projecting it. I am bringing it. Bring the life force to life. You are the life force. You're the one that brought all the life into this world. You've given life to babies, right? Come on. You have given life to your business, to your ideas. Come on, let's claim it. Claim it. It's yours. It's yours. Whatever you want. Manifest it. Create it. Claim it. Let's do it. Amen. Here, that's what I'm talking about. I'm here. I'm more committed to my success and empowering others than ever. Amen. I'm celebrating you. Come on. Come on. Let's do it, right? Claim that spot. This is your opportunity right now. If not now, then when? If not now, when? When are you going to claim your spot? What are you hiding from? Don't hide behind your doubt, your fears, your mindset, whatever's holding back. Don't hide. Face it. If you have fear, if something is holding you back in your mind, face it. Stand in the mirror. Monica has been speaking about this, the mirror work. Stand in front of the mirror and face it. Face those fears. Ask yourself, what's holding me back? Join communities. Ask for help. These are all women in this room. Not just today, but throughout the week, they're here to support you. Guess what? Just all it takes is you overcoming that fear to drop a message to someone and say, hey, I'm feeling like this, right? Before the summit, ladies reached out to me and said, hey, what can I do to help you? And there's times when I've reached out in the middle of the night to these ladies and said, can you help me? You can't carry all of this responsibility or the grunt all on your own, because there are people who are willing to support you. Whatever you're going through in your life, you have no idea how much support you have in your own community, in your own network, in your own family. You have no idea. So if there is something you're going through, reach out for help. Ask. That's all it takes. Asking. One ask, right? I see you, Daniela. I would love to get a job. Put yourself out there. Share what skills you have, right? Network in these chats. Just say, this is how I bring value. If you can bring value to someone, someone is going to recognize you. Someone is going to give you a chance. Someone is going to give you an opportunity. Someone's going to give you an introduction. This is the power of a community and event like this. So I'm encouraging you. I'm firing you up, because tomorrow we're gonna have another session, another day fully packed. And tomorrow we have Jessica starting off the day with Be the Hero of Your Story. Hello, Queen. It's going to be amazing. So Jessica is kicking off the day tomorrow. Be the hero of your story. I will be delivering a session of how to become an international speaker and also how to become featured on our stage every year. And next year, we are going to be looking for more speakers for our platform. You want to be there. Carolina is going to be there tomorrow. Find your voice through dancing. Yeah, celebrating your queen. Kelly Bentley is going to be talking about how to build a community of raving fans like a rebel. We're going rebel tomorrow. And then Manya is talking about passive income with integrity, creating value-based learning solutions. Aloho will be talking about you're not everyone's cup of tea. We don't need to fit in. You can be unique and build a powerful brand. And tomorrow we're going to talk about, in the panel, about be empowered to ask for what you want. How about that? We're going to ask for what we want. All right, so make sure you're bringing your questions, your desires, what you want. We're going to be empowering you to ask those questions. Ask for what you want. If there's something you want, ask. Life will give you. All right? Amazing. Daniela, thank you so much. Ladies, enjoy the rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another power session. Bye. Love you all. Take care for now. Bye.